The veteran's mandibles clicked as he nursed his drink. "You want to know why we lost the war?" he asked. "I'll tell you why. We never stood a chance against those crazy humans." The young journalist leaned forward, her antenna twitching with interest. She'd heard rumors about the famous war between the humans and their enemies, but hearing a first-hand story was rare. Most veterans didn't like to talk about it. But surely, she thought, the Empire's military superiority. Military superiority? The veteran laughed harshly. "Let me explain something about humans. You think you know about fighting. You think you understand combat. You don't. You have no idea." He took another long drink, his eyes shining in the dim light of the space station bar. "Here's what you need to know about humans. They turned fighting into an art long before they even left their planet. While we were making better plasma guns and shields, do you know what they were doing? They were finding new ways to kill each other with metal and explosives." "But that's so old-fashioned," the journalist said. "Old-fashioned?" The veteran slammed his drink down. "Let me tell you about old-fashioned. During our first fight with the humans, we used our best battle plans, perfect geometric shapes made by our smartest military AI. You know what they did? They looked at our perfect plans and laughed. Then they started throwing rocks at us." "Rocks? Not just any rocks," he said. "Tungsten rods dropped from space. Do you know what happens when you drop a big chunk of metal from the sky?" He shook his head. "They called it rods from God. No fancy energy, just plain old metal falling from the sky, killing everything." The journalist's antenna drooped. "But we had more soldiers. More soldiers." The veteran laughed again. "We thought the same thing. We had them outnumbered 10 to 1. But you know what humans are really good at? Fighting when they're outnumbered. They have this whole myth about it. While we were making plans based on logic, they were making video games about fighting. Their people spent more time thinking about fighting in games than our soldiers did planning real battles. But that's just pretend," the journalist said. "Real fighting is different. Real fighting is exactly what they've been practicing for their whole lives." He leaned forward. "Every human kid plays war games. Capture the flag, paintball, laser tag. They make games about fighting. And that's not even the scariest part." He stared at her. "The scary part is how creative they are. We thought we knew fighting. We had it all figured out with perfect formations, great weapons, and smart plans. But humans? They look at a battlefield and think about all the things they can do." The journalist looked nervous. "What do you mean?" "Let me tell you a story. During the Battle of Emus and Tori, we had them trapped. We had more soldiers, better weapons, and better plans. But you know what they did? They blew up their own ships to make an EMP, shutting down everything, including our ships. Then, while both sides were stuck in space, they used rockets to board our ships." He shuddered. "Do you know what it's like to be on the best ship, with the best technology, and watch humans break into it using just hot metal? Not lasers, not energy beams, just really hot metal. And they were singing while they did it." "Singing?" The journalist blinked in confusion. "Singing?" "Yeah, they sang about their soldiers dying, about parachutes failing. They sing about horrible things to boost their soldiers' spirits." "What kind of species does that?" The journalist's antenna twitched nervously. "But they don't have good technology, right?" "That's the mistake we made," the veteran said. "We thought their old technology was a weakness. But humans don't see technology the way we do. They use whatever works. They'll use plasma rifles with regular guns, quantum computers with simple tools. Whatever gets the job done." He waved his hand. "You know what shows this best? Their language. They say, 'There's more than one way to skin a cat.' The first time I heard that, I had to ask what it meant. It's about solving problems. Think about it. An entire species has a saying about how to take the skin off an animal. That's the kind of species we were dealing with. But we had better ships, better weapons, the journalist said, holding on to hope. Better ships? The veteran snorted. Let me tell you about human ships. While we built beautiful ships with perfect designs and perfect energy flow, humans just slapped engines onto big pieces of metal. Their ships were ugly, but tough. They built them to take hits and keep fighting. He paused. And their weapons. Sure, we had better energy weapons, but you know what humans brought to the fight? Everything. Guns, rockets, explosives, even biological weapons. If it could hurt someone, they'd use it. And they didn't just want to beat us. They wanted to break our will to fight. He leaned closer. They studied our culture. They learned about us. They used our own weaknesses against us. They spread rumors, lies. They made us scared. By the end of the war, some of our soldiers surrendered because they heard humans could smell fear. The journalist's antenna twitched. Of course it was crazy, the veteran said, his eyes narrowing. But that's the thing about humans. They don't care about crazy. They care about what works. And if something works, they'll use it, no matter how strange it seems. He drained his glass. But you want to know the real reason we lost the war? The one thing that made humans unbeatable? They enjoy it. Not killing, not death. Well, some of them do, and those ones are scary. But the challenge, the strategy. They treat war like a game, a puzzle to solve. And they're really good at solving puzzles. He waved at the bartender for another drink. You know what they did after we surrendered? They invited our top leaders to a paintball game. They said it would help fix the relationship after the war. So there we were, high-ranking survivors getting shot with colored balls while humans laughed. It was like a game to them. That's disturbing, the journalist said quietly. Disturbing doesn't even begin to cover it, the veteran said. You know what they were doing during the war? Making models of our ships for fun. Creating pretend battles in video games. Writing stories about how the war could have gone. Their whole society is about thinking about war. He sat back. So, why did we lose? We were fighting soldiers while they were fighting warriors. We were fighting with science while they fought with art. We had to fight, but they fought because they'd been waiting their whole lives to prove themselves against us. The journalist thought for a moment, then asked, "Do you think they'll ever change? Become more civilized?" The veteran laughed darkly. Civilized? They are civilized. That's what makes them dangerous. They've kept their warrior spirit while building a great civilization. They've got ballet dancers who do martial arts, scientists who play war games, politicians who hunt for fun. They believe you can be both civilized and dangerous. He pointed to a group of humans at the bar arm wrestling. Right now they're just having fun, playing around. But I've seen what happens when you push them too far. When you threaten what they care about, they stop being civilized quickly. And then you see why every species that's fought them ends up either dead or surrendering. The journalist's mandibles twitched. And why's that? Because humans don't just study war, they live it. They turn it into art, conflict into dance, battle into symphony. They are the gods of war. The rest of us, we're just fumbling with math while they're making grand operas of destruction. The veteran finished his drink and stood up. So next time someone tells you humans are primitive, remember this. They may seem old-fashioned with their guns and armies, but they know how to use them better than anyone. He turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and one more thing. If you ever find yourself fighting a human, surrender immediately. Because if you don't, they'll take whatever you're fighting with, figure it out, and use it against you. And they'll probably be humming a happy tune while they do it. With that, he left, leaving the journalist to think about what he had said. The humans at the end of the bar started singing again. This time about a grand old Duke of York who had 10,000 men. The journalist didn't want to know the rest of the song. Some things were better left alone. Just as she was about to leave, one of the humans from the singing group came up to the bar beside her. He was wearing a uniform full of colorful medals. "Couldn't help but overhear," he said, ordering a whiskey. "Your friend there got some things right, but he missed the best parts. Her curiosity got the better of her." "Best parts?" The human smiled, showing his teeth. "See, your veteran friend only saw us during war. That's like seeing the end of a show without the beginning." He sat down on a bar stool. "Did you fight in the war?" the journalist asked. "Nah," he said. "I was a kid back then, but I've studied it. We all do now. It's part of how not to start a war." He pointed to the stars outside. "You know what most species see? Territory, resources, positions. But humans? We see every battle story ever written, every space fight we imagined. And you want to know the real kicker? What? We don't actually want to fight.